Hello everyone and welcome to the first video in this series of speedrunning guides to the category of any percent. The first installment will be explaining in depth the perfect route for a beginner runner. We'll be covering the entire route in this video. Timestamps and chapters will be available if you need to advance to any specific point. Follow-up videos for intermediate and then expert routes will be published in the future. Hope you enjoy this collaboration between Fusion and I, and now let's get started with it. In this guide, it will be presented the beginner route for the any percent category, a category where the objective is to beat the game as fast as possible. For the run to be valid, you must follow the following game and category rules. The game rules are as follow. Time starts once the screen goes completely white in the intro. Time ends when the third relic is placed on the altar in the boss fight. Anytime the yellow loading circle is visible in the bottom right corner, it is considered load time. Any time spent reverting to a mark is also considered load time. Load time starts when the screen turns blue and ends when the particles of the animation are completely gone. That is, when you regain control of the character. You must also begin the run with 0 sky pieces in your inventory. Challenges cannot be completed before starting a new game. Button remapping through the game files is allowed. The only 2-to-1 binds allowed are for dash jumping and high mark placement. The only category rule is to play with the most up-to-date version of the game, version 1.03. During this video, you will hear many different names for strats and techniques, also their acronyms or abbreviation. For a quick reference guide and index, I suggest you going to check out my other guide on movement mechanics where I talk about them all and explain how they work. The previously mentioned video is highly recommended to watch before starting to run this game if you're new to it, or if you just want to touch up on your game knowledge. Although that video has been made, I forgot to show and explain one piece of tech that we do not use on the world record route, but is incredibly important for beginner runners, because this tech substitutes the use of focused working, which is a much harder trick to do. Saying that, the trick I am talking about is a variation of the hook launch, explained on the movement mechanics video. It is called teleport hook launch. The telehook launch consists of reverting back to your mark while pulling yourself to a hook anchor point. Much to how the hook launch works, by quickly looking away from the anchor point as you pull yourself to it, this technique acts the same way. By placing a mark down somewhere on the map, you have the ability to revert or teleport back to it with a single key press. Important to note is that wherever you are facing towards when placing the mark is where you face when teleporting back to it. This teleport, besides changing your character position, Tony's position, it also moves your crosshair to wherever it should aim. This whole change in Tony's position acts like a normal hook launch does, increasing your speed a crazy amount, but you get launched from where your mark is instead of where you start the hook. This allows for launches in zones which are isolated from all other launch options. Understanding these launches is very simple. You get launched in the direction you start the hook, not where you are facing towards in the teleport. So be aware that if you want to launch in a specific direction, that is the direction you should start the hook in. As shown in the background video, the angle of the hook determines the angle of the launch. The direction of the hook decides the direction you get launched in, and the timing of the teleport input determines the speed you get launched with. An example, the shallower the angle is, the lower the launch is. So facing straight up in a hook underneath it, you get launched straight up, and the faster you input the teleport, the higher your speed is when launching. The speed difference is caused by the hook speed. At the start of the hook, you accelerate faster, and the longer you hold on to it, the more your speed decreases, until you reach the maximum running velocity. Therefore, if you teleport as soon as you hook, you achieve maximum velocity launch, and the speed decreases by every frame you stay holding on to the hook before reverting back to the mark. As mentioned previously, binding keys through the game files is allowed for 2 uses only, where binding one is called a 2-to-1 bind, where you bind one key to act as 2 inputs. Navigating to your game install directory and following the path downward, save, config and Windows No Editor, you are presented with a plethora of files. Right-clicking on the input file, then open as and select Notepad, you get multiple lines of text that represent all the key bindings present in the game for the keyboard, mouse and controller. What is allowed is for you to add a few more lines to it. Those lines are extra to the ones existing, so you should not delete any as they do not conflict with each other. The lines added are jump to your preferred key, dash to the same key you just bound jump to in the previous line, and then jump again to a different key, place mark to the same key you just bound jump in the previous line again. What these lines allow you to do is have one single key to do dash jumps, separately to just jump and dash key, and another to do the high mark placement trick. To quickly go through my own setup, here's an input overlay that will be present on the screen. These are my keybinds. Pause if you need to take a look at them for longer and understand that yours are whatever you feel most comfortable with. Experiment and don't be afraid of trying new things. Lastly, you can find the Autosplitter for live split in the resource tab of the game speedrun.com page. Downloading it is simple and setting it up is also simple. Although the software allows for auto-splitting, I recommend not to use it, for it splits falsely sometimes and only supports a small part of the game. I keep it only for the auto start, but you get to choose what you use it for. Now that we're all done with the setup, let's get into the game route, shall we? Alright, when you start a new run, do not forget you must include clicking on the new game button on your run video for it to be valid. You can also skip the first text cutscene, making the start just that much faster. The tutorial area is fairly straightforward with no complicated movements nor tricks. Most important tips we can provide are: ledge grabbing loses between 1 to 2 seconds, avoiding them is the best way to move and save time. Beginners keep that in mind, but don't sweat over it. In this area you cannot dash, you haven't gotten this ability yet, so dash jumping is not available either. The other tip is the only skip in this area. In this island, there is a cutscene. The cutscene trigger sits on the right half of this island, and you can skip it by jumping around it. A good visual representation is this small tuft of grass, so you can jump on its position and you'll never trigger it. The route shown in the video should be a good start for a new runner, as it's very similar to the world record route, to be referred as the expert route, but with all the timing sensible jumps and routes that can make it slightly harder to execute. So just follow this route as shown. Unfortunately, this is the most boring part of the run, but cool stuff is to come. After the loading screen and cutscene end, you can finally start using dash jumping because you just unlocked the dash ability. This whole section to the old man is where the speedrun picks up a lot more steam, and the keywords are stamina conservation. Until we reach the point where we get infinite stamina, we must only use it where we can get the most out of it, for our stamina is limited and the route is precise with its use. In the starting place you can move, jump or dash normally within this area you just landed in, but moving forward past this initial zone you get slowed down to a walk speed, you cannot jump, dash or crouch, and Tony performs a small piece of dialogue accompanied by some hand motion. To speed this up, what you'll want to do is dash jump into the zone so you quickly skip past it, saving you a few seconds. Now whilst recovering some stamina for future use, you'll want to run to the slope rock, and as you reach the top of it, dash jump to the left, avoiding the rock wall to your left, and try to land on the platform, or dash jump to the red wall and wall climb it. Keep in mind that the ledge grab and climb is always 1 to 2 seconds slower than the no ledge grab strat. After climbing the second wall, you face your first tunnel where you must crouch or crouch slide through. The trick here is to sequence 2 crouch slides. To do this, you'll want to time the second crouch slide as soon as the first one is ending, so you can slide again before the game realizes that you don't have enough speed to slide once more. This timing is not hard to manage, a bit of practice should be all you need to become consistent at it. Dropping down to this next platform, you run forward towards the edge, spamming your skip dialogue key so you go through the bird lady's lines as fast as possible. As soon as you're done with the dialogue, you want to DJ forwards to the hole in the broken wall. This skips going down to the plane below and wall climb to arrive to this platform, which was once the world record route before dash jumping was a thing, which you can do as an alternative, although it's much slower, so not recommended even for beginners. As the DJ through the broken wall should not give you any issues to be discarded as the main route you should take. This dash jump is quickly followed by another one towards the objective marker on the belt. An unskippable cutscene plays, and as it ends, you have enough stamina for 2 more actions, a dash jump towards the platform you just came from, and a dash. This dash gives you 2 options for routing. The faster way is to ledge dash off the rock you're standing on onto the small lip. The slightly slower but safer route is to dash jump again to the rock to the right and drop down to the platform. This new spot we arrive at is where we receive the ability to place down the mark. So we start by placing down a mark and spam past the dialogue as fast as possible. After this, you run towards the fountain ahead of you and click on it to recover stamina, the charge you just spent on the mark, and the health you might have lost. But most importantly, you get to recover stamina, so you can start dashing and dash jumping around again. A very important note is that whenever you touch the fountain, you recover stamina and health slowly as the bar fills up, and if you take damage or use stamina at any time whilst these bars fill up, they will stop filling up. So, after clicking on the fountain, do not start dash jumping right away. Wait until you have all the stamina back and then dash jump to the next crouch slide tunnel. This tunnel, however, you only need to crouch slide once to reach the next objective marker. Touching it is enough and you can now revert back to the mark. Climbing these pillars to reach the highest corner is the next few steps, and as you reach the spot, you line up yourself to perform a sideways dash jump. This is the first spot in the run where an SDJ is used, and it's very important. The lineup you can see on screen now is just a suggestion. Try it out for yourself and find on your own the one that works best for you and your muscle memory. And what can we note for SDJs? We say that if you turn your mouse quickly in any direction during the first second or so of starting the SDJ, you change your trajectory. So provided you are using the strat, you must not move your mouse at least for a second after performing the side dash jump. This will take you to the top of the rocky wall where you can walk on to the next objective mark. This route allows you to skip a long and skippable cutscene when triggered. The mentioned cutscene starts when you walk into the small arena after the crouch slide tunnel. This cutscene is long and the intentional route in this place is slow. Skipping this room entirely as well as the cutscene is so much faster that Fusion and I saw it as a must even for beginner runners, saving upwards of 20 seconds. Following the wall down to the objective marker, you get another dialogue that drops your running speed to a walking speed. But contrary to the previous one, you can still dash, jump or crouch during this one, so you take advantage of this performing a dash jump towards the dry artifact crystal, or DA for short, dry artifact, that is floating in the air meanwhile spamming through the dialogue. This DA is where the first golem you meet forms, and this is common to all the golems locations where the DAs are just floating in space before the pieces clump up to form the golem where you enter their arena range. This is the one and only golem we fight in this whole run, and this can't even be considered a fight. Once you land, there's a whole unskippable cutscene of the golem forming, but for about 2 seconds after you have control of the camera back, the DA is still vulnerable to be picked up, and that's the timing we use to skip the fight. What allows this to be possible is that you can click on the dry artifact through the golem's body. Therefore, you know the location of it, all you need to do is spam click on the golem until the DA drops off of it. What was supposed to happen in this fight was that you'd have to wait for the golem to do a certain attack to expose the artifact, making it vulnerable to be picked up. Instead, we take advantage of its timing and get it done in under a second. This trick is very simple and fast to pull off, so with a bit of tinkering with angles and flicking, you should be able to do it in a matter of a few tries, super consistently. After the DA pops off the golem, you just have to wait for it to touch the ground to be able to be picked up. Until it touches any surfaces like walls or floors, you cannot grab them. After grabbing it, another dialogue and cutscene plays out, one that you cannot skip either. Skipping through the following dialogue again, you dash jump to the light gate. Light gates are the force fields that serve in the game as intentional progress meters, only allowing you to open them if you meet certain requirements, which are always a certain number of DAs collected. You can check how many you need on a door by standing in front of it and aiming at it with your crosshair. If nothing pops up, it's because you have the required amount and you can open it by clicking on it. As this light gate fades away, its requirement is a single dry artifact, which we collect from the golem of course, and we can get on our way. Touching this next objective marker and skipping the dialogue, you'll want to touch the fountain and let your stamina regen. After it's about 3/4 of the way full, you can dash jump to the wall climb right in front of you. Grab the DA that is conveniently laying on the floor and proceeding to drop down to the platform below. Now you are faced with two options. You can ledge dash to the platform lower to the right and then wall run and jump to the light gate, or you can ledge dash into the wall running wall and jump off quickly off of it to reach the light gate. Obviously one is safer than the other, but it's also slower, so take your pick and practice. Open the light gate, wall jump from one side to the other until you reach the top, and dash jump to the old man where he's sitting, and as you spam skip the dialogue, place down the mark facing the double jump helix. Then face the bell to your right and hit it. Once you hear the ding, you can pause your game, default key is escape on keyboard, and exit to the main menu where we are going to do the challenges that will provide us with the sky pieces to buy upgrades. We are here to complete only 2 challenges. From the list of all of them, we do 2 of the fastest ones. One takes around 4 seconds and the other 1 second only to complete. Once you load into the main menu, you'll want to hover to Challenges, then Dash Challenge. To enter a challenge, you must first select it with your cursor and then press the Enter key, which defaults to E on the keyboard. This is the second fastest challenge to complete with only one SDJ needed, and you could say there are faster challenges we could do, and you'd be right. Glancing at the leaderboards of the challenges, some show Fusion or someone else completing them under an average time of the Dash Challenge. But you'd be fooled by these because in challenges you can use focus, the ability that allows you to slow down time. The timer inside the challenges itself slows down as well, but the timer on the run does not. So ends up being much slower to do these because you do not need to use focus on Dash nor the next one we're going to complete. Inside the Dash challenge, all you need to do is hold left and perform an SDJ in that direction. Once a second has passed, you may move your crosshair to the left to aim towards the finish goal and strafe to land on the platform or in the finish portal itself. If you don't feel as comfortable going blindly towards the left without a lineup and have to hair strafe to aim yourself towards the finish, I got a tip for you. As the start countdown timer ends, aim your crosshair towards the mountain in the distance and then do the SDJ. With this, you're better aimed towards the portal and you won't need to strafe as much. This SDJ saves around 40 seconds off the gold medal reward, so you'll always get the max reward, which is 220 sky pieces for the gold medal, which is the same reward on all the challenges. Now you need to wait for the bottom text to appear. There's a few seconds to breathe here if you need, or take a swig of water, but as soon as the text underneath shows up, press the change challenge key. The default key is F on keyboard to appear the list of challenges available. Scroll down to the bottom and the fourth from the bottom is Illusion. This challenge is the fastest one to complete by far. The world record is only 0.69 seconds long. All you need to do is hold forwards and perform a single dash jump. Once you finish it, just wait until the bottom text appears once again. If you exit this menu before the text appears, you do not get the challenge reward. Only press the exit to main menu key if you see the bottom text show up. Back again at the main menu, just hit continue and hop back in the game. Once you're in the game again, you'll want to reach the statue that stands behind you as fast as possible, be it by running and dashing to it, or just dash jumping to it, your call. Click on it to open the menu and proceed to buy the following upgrades. The order doesn't really matter, besides the last one you buy. Much like the challenge screen, you must confirm the purchase every time you select an upgrade. But if you want to follow this order, feel free. The first ones you get provide you with an extra upgrade to max stamina, increasing the bar by 1 extra bit, and an upgrade to the stamina recovering speed, increasing how fast your stamina starts recovering and how fast it recovers over time. These two upgrades make you have pretty much infinite stamina to DJ all around the map with no worries of consumption from now on. The third upgrade we get is an extra charge for marks that we'll need later. The fourth is only needed to unlock the tree further so we can get the fifth and last, which is the fast travel upgrade. Remember when I said the order didn't really matter? Well, as you might have noticed, the cheaper upgrades are the ones on the left and they cost 40 sky pieces, and on the right, the upgrades are 120. These upgrades all start an animation that deducts your sky piece counter on the top right. During this animation, you cannot purchase any other upgrade. Cheaper ones have a really quick animation, and the 120 sky piece ones take the longest. With that being said, the only way to cancel that animation is through leaving the upgrade menu. So if you leave the longest animation for last, you can just purchase the upgrade, then quickly leaving the menu to save a few seconds for free. Releasing yourself from the most menuing heavy sections of the run, you now reach the turning point. From here on out, you'll have plenty to do and the run picks up even more speed for the fact that you now have infinite stamina. To proceed with the objective, you must now jump down to the water below. Technically, you can land wherever you want, but the objective only progresses if you touch the water. So what you'll want to do is land on deep water, but close to shallow water so you can start running as fast as possible. The best landing zone is one that you can easily recognize, so I suggest the area near these ruins. Right besides these bricks is deep water, so you don't take fall damage, but right in front of it, it's shallow water, so you can run and dash jump off the water quickly. Now, it's important to preface that dash jumping is your best friend. It's the second best method of horizontal travel and it costs nothing now, so use it and abuse it if you're just running from one place to the other in a straight line. From here, your next objective is to grab the first anomaly, the double jump anomaly. Following this route to the area where it is, you can now dash jump off this platform onto a ledge climb. proceed to this wall, and you can now dash jump to the lower platform ahead of you, or wall run and jump to reach it, which is much safer but slower. Now you climb up to the floor above and collect the DA that sits on it before climbing to the wall behind it, and then dash jump to the double jump anomaly or wall jump to it. Grab the anomaly, and after getting it, revert back to the mark you placed before you did the challenges, near the old man. From this mark, you'll want to double jump to the left using your newfound ability in this floating helix. All you need to do is hold the jump button, and whenever Tony's hitbox touches the helix hitbox, it will double jump. Nothing fancy. Now you'll want to reach this light gate and open it. After so, walk up to the ledge and ledge dash to reach this platform that contains another DA. Grab it and walk or jump off this ledge towards the objective marker. You don't need to double jump on the helix below, but if you don't trust yourself to be able to revert back to the mark in time before splatting onto the ground, do the double jump. But as soon as you get the marker, just revert back to the mark. Now back at this mark, you can use the double jump helix in front of you again to jump to the right first. On this platform, there's the last DA you need from Crossroads. Grab it and walk off and double jump again to the platform you've been previously, and here is your first geometry launch. On the left of this archway, you can jump between the cactus arms to the middle of it to perform the launch. This launch takes you from this area to the platform higher up. By pressing Tony's body to the left facing the archway and then looking down to the ground on this black spot, all you need to do is hold left and press the dash jump button, and you'll get launched to the next geometry launch. Remember, if you move rapidly or aim in the first second of the SDJ, the momentum is shifted and your trajectory won't be the desired one. As a failsafe, you'll always have your mark placed on the ground near the old man, so if you miss a launch or fall down, just revert back to the mark and try again. Yet, after the second try, it loses more time compared to the safe and slower route. Once you reach the higher up platform, with the use of the cactus launch, you can place down another mark for safety, only if you need to. It is not necessary, but helpful for new players, because this next launch that uses the palm tree is slightly harder to perform. Remember to not place the mark where you do the launch. Place it a few steps back from this wall because the mark's hitbox makes the launch very hard to set up. Friendly reminder that placing a mark takes a few seconds to do and spends a charge, to which you don't have many of, and you'll need some in specific spots of the run, so use them wisely. As for the setup, you can run up to this corner as far as Tony can go, then look to the end of this black line on the floor, and from here you'll want to hold left, and right after you press the DJ key you made. Notice I don't press them simultaneously. There's just a very slight delay between these two inputs for one reason. If you don't hold a directional key for a small amount of time before you press the DJ or normal dash key, Tony will only jump if you press DJ, and it will do nothing if you press the normal dash. These two actions need a directional key to be pressed and registered as pressed by the game. This launch skips multiple minutes of intended parkour and combat, taking us from this area to the old broken bridge up higher. This was one of the most important launches first discovered, and after many iterations and changes, it is now what you're about to learn. This strat is so important and worth to spend a few seconds to place the mark for safety that both Fusion and I agreed to putting it in the beginner's route. After the launch is started, you'll want to look up at the bridge, air strafing towards its ledge. The point here is to have your camera, or Tony's head, above or at the level of the ledge. If your camera is below the ledge by just a little bit, it might still work. If it's a full head below, then you won't be able to ledge climb it, which is what you want to do. Holding forwards, facing towards the bridge, and the jump button yield the best results to climb the ledge. Once you're atop the bridge, you can dash jump to the stairs and then dash jump again from the top of the stairs to the bottom of the temple stairs. Reaching this place, you get yet another dialogue that you can skip, and during the skipping, you place down another mark. Go up the stairs and open the light gate that prevents your entrance to the temple, and follow up the stairs. If you use an extra mark in the palm tree launch, here you get the chance to touch a fountain to replenish those charges. You'll have another chance to do it, but this is a good place to do it, not too much out of the way and fast. If If you don't need it, skip the step and follow to the right instead right away and dash jump to the ledge climb, and follow the hall to the double jump helix to the top. At the top, you can dash jump avoiding the sloped piece of wall to the shrine, where the objective marker lies. This activates another dialogue which you can skip of course by spamming the skip button. And then whenever it's over, you revert back to the mark you placed and dash jump right away through the archway of the portal right in front of you. What this does is activate the portal archway so you can teleport back to it in a later area from a bell. Now you face the planet changer. Although it has an objective marker on it, this is the only objective marker you can skip without soft locking the game. Somehow, this is the only one that can be skipped, but none else. To the right of the changer, line yourself in between these two vertical stone pillars. Here, you will perform a dash jump as soon as you reach the middle of the stone band on the floor. From there, you just have to hold forwards and the jump button. The objective is to ledge grab this platform to cancel fall damage, so practice it and see how it works for you. Get used to the air strafing in case you need to modify a trajectory to be able to do it. It's not as hard as it looks, and you have your mark right there in case something goes wrong. Try it and experiment with it. Make your own setup if need be, of course. Go up the stairs, open the light gate, and dash jump to the portal which takes you to the next area, the Winter Sea. Loading into this map, there's a few new things in store for you. First, you quickly make your way to the dark chamber to the left of the portal you just came through. You can easily run to the edge of this floating bed of the floor and dash jump across this gap, and then walk in. At this threshold of the darkly lit chamber, you may dash jump again into the zone where the dialogue starts with the old man that sits to the left of this room and skip his dialogue. After that, you can climb the wall, and now you have two options. If you used all your marks to this point and you didn't replenish them back at the temple, you may do it now by touching the fountain to the left. To check how many charges you still have, you can press tab on the keyboard to show your entire HUD, and in the bottom middle of your screen there are 3 diamonds that show up. If you have at least one, you're fine for what's next, but keep watching so you can make an informed decision if you need to touch this fountain or the temple one at all. Anyway you do it, your next move is to climb over this wall, or crouch slide under it if you come from the fountain if you prefer. We do this to skip a long unskippable cutscene that triggers in this area. The trigger is not large enough to encompass the wall we go over or under, so it's a free time save. From here you need to grab 2 DAs. The order won't matter too much. My suggestion is to take advantage from being on top of the wall you just climbed, if you did just climb it, and dash jump to the small building where the one DA is on top of. Then ledge dash off to grab the other dry artifact and DJ your way to the planet changer, and start the changing cutscene by clicking on the planet. This cutscene is the longest one in the game, gives you about 20 seconds to take a break if you need. This is right around the middle of the run, so it's always nice to take a breather before starting to rush again. As soon as it ends, dash jump to this path and walk up to this DA. Grab it and ledge dash off this ledge and hold forwards and jump to double jump on those 2 helix back to back, and then climb this ledge on the island where the next ability is at. Grabbing it will give you 2 cool things, the hook ability and the focus ability. Hook allows you to pull yourself to the hook anchor spread around the world, and a focus allows you to slow down time but allows you to move your aim at normal speed whilst holding down the focus button. From here, and before we get into our route options, if you don't feel comfortable with doing whatever I'll be explaining after this during a full run, just place down a mark now as safety for the next few jumps. As for the options, you have 3 in increasing speed. All of them start by aiming towards this pillar in the distance. It has a hook anchor in front of it, and that's what we're aiming to grab. The first and the slowest option I'll be presenting is the ledge dash and focus combo. You'll ledge dash off this island, and as you get closer to the platform and hook, you hold focus and wait until you can click on the anchor to pull yourself to the platform. This is obviously slower, and as you tend to spend a lot longer using focus, and although it slows down time, it does not slow down the speedrun timer. Second option is to DJ off the island and use focus to hook. Again, it's only the second slowest because of the focus. The third option and the fastest one is to practice when you can hook and skip using focus to hook at all. Not using focus is always saving time in these cases, so practice and do whatever you feel most comfortable with. From here, you want to move on forwards doing whatever fastest methods of movement you prefer. You can DJ to the red wall, dash to wall run to the red wall, or just do basic movement. Whichever you prefer, follow this path to the fountain, touch it to regain the spent charges, and hook up to the platform where you have yet again options. You can follow this right path, the intended one by the way, to this rock. Or you can dash jump to the left side closer to the middle of this rock and climb it. Hold down forwards and jump to climb it easily and save the time of going around the intended way. Reach the objective marker and press apply it. When the cutscene is done, place down a mark and head off to the next area ahead of you. Dash jump to the wall and jump off right away to cross the gap. Next up is your first hook launch on this route. What I suggest is take advantage of the first time you approach this Golem arena, as while they have to form for the first time, they take much longer to be able to attack you, therefore you can take longer to set up your launch. If you miss, you'll have to be much faster on the setup because the Golem is faster too, and it will smack you. As for the setup, I recommend running to these rocks on the ground and stand over them. Aim towards the hook anchor and now press the key you'd use to pull yourself and the show objective button at the same exact time. This will launch you high, but with enough horizontal speed to reach this wall so you can climb it to avoid damage. This requires practice, and alongside this guide, multiple save files will be added to the resource tab on speedrun.com page. Download them all or just the ones you need. One of them will be the previous area after the mark placement with all the progress you've made with this route so far, with the difference of not having the Golem be alive, so you can practice without worries of it being there to interfere. Once you get good at hair strafing to climb the wall, grab the first relic and move ahead to grab the DA to the right of this flight of stairs and then meet the old man when the objective marker appears. Skip through the dialogue and drop down behind the old man to grab this DA and then walk or jump off this ledge to double jump and land on this small platform to grab the second DA. Whenever you're done with these, just revert back to the previous mark and hit the bell. The first time you hit the bell, you save the game, but you must click again and hold the click to open the fast travel menu. In this menu, just teleport back to Crossroads. The first option should be the only one you have available at this point in the run. As you finish loading into Crossroads, place down a mark right away and dash jump to the stairs of the temple and go up. After so, you go to the left side of the hall and hook to the shrine. Place down the relic on the pedestal and skip the dialogue. When it's over, revert back to mark. Look behind you and wait for the objective marker. If you stand on the place where it spawns, it won't register as you being there. Only when you enter the zone it registers and moves it to the next marker. So just wait for it out of the platform changer platform and then walk up to it. Next up is a cool strat where you walk to the ledge of the broken bridge and jump off to this general area. The objective is to aim towards this broken building down there. It has a hook anchor on it and it will cancel the fall damage if you hold onto it by reducing your falling velocity. It is very easy to do. Jump down and as you come closer to it, hold focus and aim to the hook to pull yourself. The trick is to hold on to it for as long as possible to negate all damage from the fall. After that, dash jump through this broken wall section and head on to the right where there is a hole you can crouch slide through and a light gate. Behind this gate there are 3 DAs you'll grab and head back out the same way you came in. Go to the next light gate on the right and go through the portal that will take you to the next map, the Deep Crater. Right after loading, go left through the tunnel. The best way to knock down these bricks is to crouch slide through them and then head on outside. As you reach the door archway outside, you DJ to an invisible barrier and spam through the dialogue once again. This section is basically how fast can you reach the planet changer and start the animation. When it ends, go to the left and climb over those boulders. Dash jump off them and make your way to this fountain. Click on it for good luck and health in case you are low and go to this corner. To get into it properly, you'll want to walk backwards to it and press Stony well into the corner. Look up to the red particles and place down a mark. Move your way to the entrance of the Dark Temple, open the gate and move in. Don't forget to touch the lantern on the left side. They protect you from damage over time effect of the Alpha Planet we have to activate to continue the run, and they also make it so you can see where you're going in the dark. Move to the right and climb up this wall, and we come to another piece of tech that is only used in this place and only 2 times. It's called ledge climb storage. This trick works by the game storing somewhere in its code the last ledge climb you did and what surfaces you're allowed to grab. By climbing this wooden structure, you have the ability to climb ledges you're not normally able to. This allows to skip the entirety of the maze that this place actually is by just climbing up to the left side like shown. This is not a hard trick, you just have to not ledge climb anything else before this one. If you do, just go back down and climb back up. Interesting thing about this trick is that the game keeps the climb in memory even if you just touch the wall where the wooden structure is in. So as you climb up to the left, you'll just want to give a quick kiss to this corner, make sure you face the wall, where one of these wooden structures are, and then go to the next storage climb. This is the last time you'll need to use this trick in the run, and it's very old tech, quite fun to do as it skips multiple minutes of running around a maze to reach this anomaly. As you reach the strange anomaly and grab it, move to the light gate to the left and go forwards, grabbing the objective marker on the platform ahead, and as soon as you do, just revert back to the mark. Next up is the first tele-hook launch in the route. The trick I explained: go to the closest hook anchor nearby, which is this one, and go up against the rocky wall facing the pillar and position yourself in the middle of the left bricks. Look up towards the hook and jump. As you reach the range to hook yourself to the anchor, press both the button you used to hook and revert back to the mark at the same exact time. This will initiate the launch from the place you placed the mark from and launching you high towards where the second relic is. You must gauge where you are heading towards. Keep in mind your objective is to land on the highest platform without dying. One way to avoid the falling damage is to fall on one of the two trees on that platform. Somehow their hitbox just bumps you off, resetting your speed, and therefore you take pretty much no damage. Practice this, it will be very useful in the run as it saves a lot of time from the intended route where it takes you for a loop-de-loop with the new anomaly, which is useless for the entire run. Now that you stand on the higher platform, you place down a mark and wait until you see the objective marker show up on the rock platform below. As it appears, jump off to the left side of the rock. This allows you to activate the marker but not take fall damage. As you touch the objective, you can revert back to mark and now grab the relic. Although the relic doesn't have the objective marker yet, you can grab the relic early, and as soon as said marker jumps to it, automatically recognizes it as it's done and progresses right away to the next one, which is the old man dialogue. Meanwhile the game does that, you can grab the DA in the pillar and walk towards the old man. Wait for the marker and touch him to start the dialogue and skip it. As you skip it, walk off the platform to your death to do a death warp. This warp takes you to the planet changer near the next objective marker, which is to talk to Mama Tortoise, skipping having to run back to this area. Press the use key to begin the dialogue and spam the key to skip it. There are two dialogues back to back you must do to be able to move forth. When you're done, run towards the nearest bell, which happens to be this one, and fast travel to Crossroads once again. Loading back to Crossroads, you once again need to place another mark down right away, and head up back to the shrine to place down the second relic. As soon as you finish skipping through the dialogue, you can teleport to the mark and yet again wait for the objective marker to appear. One simple tip is to move towards the grate to the left as you wait, because as soon as the marker appears, you can just step in the change of platform and walk off and click on the grate to teleport to the exit of that tunnel. At this exit, you have a fountain you can click on to replenish the charges for marks you'll need in just a little bit. Move on to the right to the light gate that blocks the entrance to the next map, which is Sanctuary. Entering this map, you run up to the old man and skip his dialogue. From here, dash jump to the wall to climb it. Then dash jump again to the main island and run to the entrance of the sanctuary itself. Standing in front of it, make sure to not be underneath the ledge. Place down a mark facing the building and go down this tunnel to the lower ground. Make sure you use the double jump helix to avoid taking falling damage, as you'll need the HP soon. Now that you're underneath the main floating island, you can perform the last telehook launch of the run. Get yourself right underneath the hook anchor so you get launched straight up and perform it. On this one, a very tiny delay between hooking and reverting is recommended, as you don't fly up so high and so spend less time in the air. As you get launched, just drift to the top of the domed roof and place a mark on the peak of it. From here, aim towards the metal chain at the back of the sanctuary and dash off the roof towards it. When you touch the chain, you get the sliding animation, and as you reach the end, you can just press jump to get out of it. And now you can get the first gate down. As soon as you get the first gate, just revert back to the mark and slowly make your way to one of the sides. Order doesn't matter here. Try not to land on the corner of this dome, as you can get stuck and lose a lot of time, and if you fall, just teleport back up. Do the same on each side, but on the second one, just run up to the gate and up to the bird lady. Doing the launch skips minutes of the intended route. which even includes changing of planets and multiple instances of combat with multiple golems simultaneously, which is obviously incredibly slow. As you skip the dialogue, you can move to the back corner window like shown, and as it's over, you can jump off to the lower ground below to perform another death warp. This warp takes you to the start of this map where you got in from, and with that, you can just walk back into the portal again. Now back at Crossroads, you'll want to just dash forward next to this cactus. Stand on the right side from where you come from, of course, and look up to the hook to perform a hook launch. If you press both inputs at the same exact time, you will get launched really high. And to avoid dying, you should strafe to the big rocks and boulders to land on them. From the boulders you just walk down, or dash down, be aware to not die from the damage, and open the light gate that opens the portal to the boss room. When entering the portal, it will ask you to confirm your entry. Do not spam the enter button. If you spam it, the menu will not go away until you stop spamming, so just press it once and wait to get a loading screen. Now you're in for the last minute or so of the game. As you load in, you can right away dash jump to the end of the corridor and click on a fountain to make sure you have max HP and charges just in case you need the health. From here, run down the stairs to deactivate the dialogue and skip it quickly. Run and climb the pillars to the left, make your way to the first platform on the left. Be careful with the boss shots, but if you keep moving through these platforms, you won't be hit unless you stop. So it just comes down to practice. You can practice this part by just jumping off the ledge of the map so it resets the fight and you can do it again from the start. Once you're on the platform, you'll need to place yourself close to the edge, facing the inside of the arena on the side you just started. Turn slightly inward so you can now do a sideways dash jump to the other side of the arena. Try it a few times until you find a good setup for yourself. When you land, you'll want to move to the left side and dash jump to this ledge on the side of the altar platform. This place is safe and the boss cannot hit you here. Walk carefully to the peak of this rock on the floor, aiming towards the pillar on the corner, and jump to the platform and you'll climb it. Now all you need to do to finish is click on all 3 circular pedestals on the altar, and as soon as you place the third, you're done! Congratulations! Now you know the simple and easy route for the any % category. This route should be enough for you to reach a 14-minute real-time attack time, or even below 14 minutes, and you're that much closer to get the world record. This video was made in collaboration between Fusion and I. Without his perseverance in playing this game, I would have stopped a long time ago, and now I hope this is enough to get more people motivated to learn it and get started on their adventure to reach the highest ranks of the leaderboards. For now, this has been all I have to provide. Subscribe so you don't miss the intermediate and expert routes, and I'll see you guys in the next one.